Okay, hello St. Paul's. Today I'm talking with our communications coordinator, Wayne Riehm. Wayne, say hello.
Hi there, good to see you.
Wayne has been with us for several years on a part-time basis, but over the course, or as we got into the pandemic, his role expanded. As important as communication always is in the church, our digital communications became absolutely crucial during the pandemic, during the lockdown phase. And Wayne stepped up and did extra hours, and he controls so much of what we do. He puts together the weekly email. He puts everything up on the website for us. He makes sure that everybody has the right Zoom links and keeps our accounts straight. And in general, he's just indispensable. And in the middle of all that, Wayne and his wife had a baby last year. And I'm so grateful to you, Wayne, for the skills you bring to this and your team spirit and your great work ethic.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Penny. That's very kind of you.
You're welcome. And today we wanted to talk about the new calendar system for the cathedral. Communications and calendar go hand in hand. Everybody knows how important it is for us to know what's coming up and what time things are happening and whether they're virtual or in person. And we have a new computer system for our calendaring. And so, Wayne, would you tell us why we need a computer system for our cathedral calendar?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, as you can imagine, between our 80 plus ministries, the San Diego Diocese, outside organizations, our music department, staff, and just anyone else that doesn't fall under one of those categories. We have basically, to put simply, a lot of things happening in a lot of different places with a lot of people all over the campus. And to top that off, we have, a number of rooms that we have on campus. We're only adding more with the new building. So it's going to get more and more complex. And a paper calendar just isn't going to quite cut it. So we need some sort of system that's going to keep track of all this, and that's what we've implemented with eSpace. That's the name of the program or the software we're using. That's probably not going to come up too much in the day-to-day, but that's just more of an FYI. And so to kind of put it into context, we have, easily more than 100, sometimes 150 events per month at the cathedral. And that's, many of those are virtual now, but yeah, that's just to put it in perspective. We have a lot going on.
Thank you. Yes, it's a busy place. And we have, of course, had a calendar in the past. We've had several different types of calendars, of online calendars. And alongside them in the past, we had what and people will remember were called the blue sheets, where you would fill out a physical form. It happened to be on blue paper, saying you wanted a room for a particular event and how many people and what kind of refreshments and so forth. What makes the eSpace system an improvement over that old way with the blue sheets?
Sure. First and foremost, with the blue sheet, you had to physically go into the office and fill something out yourself. Hopefully you have good legible handwriting. And so that right there, whether that's a hardship or at very minimum inconvenience for you, you no longer have to do that. You no longer have to physically go into the office. So you can now do this from our website. This form is going to reside on the website and be accessible for any ministry or any ministry leader to go on and put in this information. And what that also means, it's going to be available to all staff. Much of the staff is still working from home, and so they'll be able to see what's happening on the campus without having to search for a physical blue sheet. And this, on top of all of this, it also consolidates all this information into one definitive place where it resides, online for all of staff who all have access to this to view and review. And it's, it stays organized essentially.
Yeah, thank you. I know I already see what a great improvement it is. We've only been using it for a few weeks. And it's quite bewildering to see the number of events that that come up on our calendar. It's great to see staff and ministry leaders working together. And will this be, I mean, will any parishioner be able to book an event?
Well, this is geared much more towards staff and to ministry leaders, or at least individuals representing these ministries. That is the intent of this. And actually, I have prepared a short video to show you that actually will walk through what a ministry leader or someone representing a ministry will do when you book an event. So we can take a look at that.
Great. Okay, we'll watch your demonstration.
Let's review the booking process. First, you're going to go to the calendar page on the cathedral's website. Now, this content might change occasionally, just slightly, but the most important thing you're going to be looking for is some sort of button that says book your ministry event. When you click on that, it's going to take you to this form. The form is what you'll fill out to book your event. And most of this is pretty straightforward. It's going to ask for your name, your first and last name, email, phone number, the name of your event, and so on and so forth. We're going to just put in some test information right now for purposes of this demonstration. The event description is a description of what your event's going to be. This helps staff know what to expect. Is this maybe some sort of formation offering? Is this a book study? The kind of things that will tell staff, what to expect for this event. You're going to pick a date, a time, an end time, and whether or not this is a reoccurring event. In this case, we're not going to click that. This likely won't change, but location, St. Paul's Episcopal Cathedral. And down here, when we get to the public option, this is what you'll click if your event's going to be public, open to anyone to join. And in the notes, this is the description that people will see and people will read that describes to the general public what your event's going to be about. So keep that in mind when you're writing this portion. Describe your event to anyone who might want to join your event and might not know what it's about. You can include a public link if there's some sort of registration. And then we have a section for the format of the meeting. Is this going to be an in-person event, a virtual, or a hybrid? We ask that you include which ministry you're booking this for, and then provide us with a phone number so we can talk to you day of. If we have questions or you have questions for us, it's a good way to contact us and us to contact you. This next section down here is just to make sure you're actual human filling this thing out. And then when you've completed this form, you click the next button and it'll take you to the next page, which reviews all of your information. Ensuring that this is correct and accurate, you can now move on to booking the actual room that you would like to use. This is, of course, this portion's a little bit up to the discretion of our registrar, receptionist, whether or not, your meeting will fit maybe in that room. That's going to be maybe a conversation with them, but you can start by selecting a room. And now you'll notice if I try and select the cathedral and something's already in there, you're going to see a conflict, and it's going to be give you this little notification. So we're going to select a different room instead. We're going to just go into the Great Hall because that's available. You have the option to communicate this event to a wider audience. If you'd like to do that, under the services section, you can just click the communications button. It's going to give you this little warning, which all this means is that you need to go to the very bottom and fill out the communications form. So click this blue button and it's going to ask you a couple questions. like who's this primarily for? Is this for the cathedral community, a wider audience, or an other? If you do select other, we please just ask that you explain what that is. How far out would you like this promoted? And which platforms would you like this promoted on? And lastly, we ask just for a description of the event, something that we can use here to communicate what this event is all about in our communications, whether that's the weekly email or Facebook or what have you. And this section is required. After you're done completing this form out, you click Save, and then you're ready to submit your event. Click Yes, and then you're good to go.
All right, thank you for that demonstration. Now, what happens behind the scenes when I enter an event? What does that kick off in terms of activities?
Sure. Yeah. After you submit an event, just like you saw in that demonstration, you'll click Submit. An email will go to our receptionist, Judy, who will take a look at your event and review the information that you've entered. You will, as the submitter of the event, will receive an email saying that that's been submitted successfully. Judy will then either approve it or deny it. Either way, you'll also get an additional email stating whether it's been approved or denied. Once it's approved, you'll actually see it on the website calendar. And so will everyone else. It'll have the description and all the information that you just put in. If it's denied, you will get an email, as I said, but you also have, you have the option to reach out to Judy. And so you can maybe start a conversation, maybe figure out what a better fit or a better date would be for your event. Additionally, after you submit an event and you select the communications component of that, that information will go to me, your communications coordinator, and I will do with that information whatever you've requested on that form, as you saw. So.
Wow. So it covers everything. You do one activity to enter an event, and you put in your 75-word description of the event, and the rest is taken care of,
Yes.
assuming it's approved. So some of us are very comfortable with using digital media, and some of us aren't so comfortable. So what if I want to book an event, but I really don't feel comfortable doing it online using eSpace?
Sure. Well, the hope is, of course, that it's so easy now that everyone does feel comfortable with that. But however, if that's still not the case, you still have the option to reach out to a staff liaison, someone who can either help you with that, or maybe do that for you in certain circumstances. But at the end of the day, that information will inevitably have to go through the system, whether it's you or a staff liaison helping you go through.
And I just thought of a question. Are we, do we talk to you about getting access to enter events? I assume you have to have some kind of log on.
Just to submit an event, there's no need for a login. Any ministry leader can do it without any sort of account or anything like that. So you'll just go to the website calendar and click the book button.
That's great, because it means there isn't one more password to remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my last question is, what if I start booking an event, but the space I want isn't available? What happens then?
Sure. Well, as you saw in the demonstration, you won't be able to book events that are conflicting with something that already exists on the calendar. If that room that you're looking for is not available, there's probably a very good reason. There's either maybe a worship service or another ministry has booked that space at that time. And so, we hope the cathedral's a pretty large place. We hope that there's probably some other room or some other time that we can schedule your event. If you need to, you can maybe reach out to Judy or staff liaison to figure out an alternative. But all of the spaces are listed there on that form. If you're not familiar maybe with those spaces, that would be maybe another reason to reach out and try and work out, where we can fit in your event. So it can always, be a conversation as well.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good idea always to work with your staff liaison, because that way we don't get surprised by things popping up. And with the new building opening, we'll have additional spaces that everybody's getting used to. And we just had some of us just had a tour this afternoon of the new space, which is coming along, and we saw the offices and the meeting spaces. We're going to have several rooms where we can have gatherings and meetings. So do reach out to staff, and we can help you find the right spaces for your events. So thank you, Wayne. Anything else you want to add about the space calendar?
Not in particular. Just hope that it's a good, easy system that works for everyone. I'm sure with everything there will be it's little bugs and learning curves and all that good stuff. But I'm sure it'll be a step forward for all of us.
Great. And we get to it simply by going to the website homepage and clicking on it, calendar events.
Yes, and that will be going live as soon as this video is released.
Okay. Oh, that's exciting. All right. Well, thank you very much, Wayne. I really appreciate your work. And I know it took about a year to find the right software, and I'm excited about this and hope that it makes life easier for everyone. And to the congregation, see you via the live stream on Sunday.